Hello everyone, welcome back to Banking and Finance with Chitrak. Today we'll solve 30 MCQs of money laundering methods. Do watch this video till the end as we have some situation based questions today which will be beneficial for your exam. So the first question is, which of the following is not one of the three basic stages of the money laundering cycle? A. Placement, B. Layering, C. Diversification and D. Integration. The answer is C. Diversification. Next, what is the primary objective of the placement stage in money laundering? A. To accumulate scattered funds into a legitimate form. B. To distance illicit funds from their origin through complex transactions. C. To physically introduce illicit cash funds into the financial system. And D. To invest legal funds into luxury assets. The answer is C. Next, the layering stage in money laundering primarily involves A. Depositing large amounts of cash directly into bank accounts. B. Distancing placed funds from their origin through various layers of financial transactions. C. Accumulating scattered funds across multiple accounts and banks. And D. Investing the laundered money in legitimate businesses or luxury goods. The answer is B. Distancing the placed funds from their origin through various layers of financial transactions. Next, in the integration stage of money laundering, what happens to the illicit funds? A. They are physically placed into the banking system. B. They are distanced from their source through complex transactions. C. They are accumulated and appear as legitimate funds or invested in legal avenues. D. They are converted into cash for immediate spending. The answer is C. They are accumulated and appear as legitimate funds or invested in legal avenues. Next, according to the sources, which stage of money laundering is considered the most difficult for banks and financial institutions to distinguish between legal and illegal money? Either it's placement, layering, the diversification, or integration. As you know, diversification is not a stage of money laundering, so the answer is integration. Next, during the placement stage, illicit funds can be introduced into the financial system by A. Investing in long-term real estate project, B. Smuggling cash across borders or depositing it into local financial institutions, C. Making numerous small complex cross-border transfers, and D. Purchasing high-value commodities like gold with traceable transactions. The answer is B. Smuggling cash across the borders or depositing it into a local financial institution. Next question. According to the sources, what kind of investments might be made with integrated funds during the integration stage? A. Only cash deposits in multiple accounts. B. Stocks, commodities, futures, real estate and gold. C. Short-term, easily reversible investments. Or D. Illicit businesses and illegal activities. So, the answer is B. The money is invested in stocks, commodities, futures, real estate and gold to make the illegal money into legal. The eighth question, what are the four stages of terrorist financing? A. Placement, layering, integration, spending. B. Raising, moving, storing, using. C. Collection, transfer, investment, withdrawal. D. Funding, distancing, legitimizing or utilizing. The answer is B. The four stages are raising the money, moving the money, storing it and then using for terrorist activities. The next question, financing of individual terrorist acts typically involves A. Extremely large traceable wire transfers. B. Nominal amounts of money, often in cash or from existing bank accounts. C. Long-term investments in legitimate businesses. And D. High-value transactions involving well-known entities. So the answer is B. Nominal amounts of money, often in cash or from existing bank accounts. Next question, which of the following is not explicitly mentioned as a principal source of terrorist financing? A. State sponsorship. B. Funds from legitimate modes like charity funds. C. Private funding through criminal activities like drug trafficking. Or D. Loans from international financial institution. So you can understand the answer is D, because no international organization for obvious reason would loan a terrorist organization for terrorist activities, but it can be sponsored by a state like our neighbor Pakistan. Or terrorists can use charities for funding their terrorist activities, and from criminal activities like drug trafficking or kidnapping, the amount can be collected for those heinous acts. Next, what is the key characteristics of remittance transactions used for financing specific terrorist act? A. They are typically of high value and easily traceable. B. They are often of low value and difficult to track. C. They are always conducted through formal banking channels. And D. They are primarily involved in large organizations as both remitters and beneficiaries. The answer is B. They are often of low value and are difficult to track. Next question, Which of the following is considered a common source of illegal money mentioned in the sources? A. Legitimate business profits. B. Savings accounts from legal employment. C. Drug trafficking. D. State sponsored grants for development. And the answer is an easy one. C. Drug trafficking. Next, what is deposit structuring or smurfing in the context of money laundering? This is a very important question. The options are depositing large sums of money in a single bank account to avoid detection. B. Splitting large amounts of cash into smaller below threshold deposits across multiple accounts to evade reporting. C. Transferring funds electronically between different countries. Or D. Investing illicit funds directly into real estate. Answer is B. Smurfing or deposit structuring is splitting large amounts of cash into smaller below threshold deposits across multiple accounts to evade reporting. The next question is, a funnel account is described as a bank account primarily used for A. Receiving legitimate business profits. B. Depositing dirty money in amounts below the reporting threshold which are then immediately withdrawn. C. Holding long-term investment without withdrawal. And D. Facilitating large cross-border wire transfer. The answer is B. Funnel accounts are used for depositing the dirty money in amounts below the reporting threshold which are then immediately withdrawn. So, smurfing is the process of splitting the large amount into smaller below threshold parts, and the account where the amount is deposited is called funnel account. Next question. Why might money launderers utilize connected accounts? A. To ensure all transactions are transparent and easily traceable. B. To hide the real owner of funds by using accounts in the names of relatives, associates, or professionals. C. To exclusively conduct legitimate international trade. D. To only engage in high value single transaction deposits. The answer is B. To hide the real owner of funds by using accounts in the names of relatives, associates, or professionals. The next question. Front companies are used in money laundering to A. Mingle illicit funds with legitimate business dealings and provide a cover for illegal activities. B. Directly convert illegal cash into legitimate digital currency. C. Serve as an intermediary for official government transaction. And D. Exclusively manage dormant accounts. The answer is A. To mingle the illicit funds with legitimate business dealings and provide a cover for their illegal activities. Next question. What is one reason terrorist organizations might use dormant accounts? You know, dormant accounts are those accounts which have not been used by the customer for a long period of time. So they become dormant, and after a certain period of time, the RBI asks the banks to report it, and then the total amount is transferred to the DEF accounts of the RBI. So what are the options for this question? A. To conduct large frequent transactions without suspicion. B. To establish a purported customer relationship and avoid drawing undue attention to minimal fund movements. C. To openly declare their financial activities to authorities. Or D. To purchase high value assets that require immediate payment. The answer is B. To establish a purported customer relationship and avoid drawing undue attention to minimal fund movement. The next question. In trade invoice manipulation, how are illicit funds often integrated or transferred? A. By purchasing legal services with inflated prices. B. By transferring additional amounts of money to another country, often for worthless goods, which are then credited back to the launderer's accounts. C. By declaring large sums of cash at customer checkpoints. And D. By using multiple small bank drafts to pay for various services. The answer is B. Next question. What is the primary characteristics of shell companies in money laundering? A. They exist only on paper, have no real businesses, and are used to conceal the beneficial owner's identity and facilitate illegal financial activities. So as you can understand, this is going to be the answer. So I am not reading the rest of the options. Next, why are prepaid cards considered a boon to criminals? A. They offer high interest returns on deposited funds. B. They require extensive personal identification for purchase. C. They are easily traceable by law enforcement agencies. D. They provide anonymity and allow cash to be available globally at any time. The answer is D. Prepaid, or you can also say forex cards, can be used anywhere in the world, and they provide anonymity, and you can take anyone's card and use it for your personal gain or for any illegal activity you are doing. Why are bureaus the change are attractive to money launderers? A. They operate with very strict regulatory controls and highly skilled staff. B. They offer high interest rates on large deposits. C. They often have less regulation, less skilled staff, and deal in various forms of currency exchanges. And D. They only handle legitimate international trade payments. The answer is C. The currency exchanges often have less skilled staff and they don't care where you are getting the money from generally. So it is a good option for money launderers to exchange their currency. Next, what makes the Hawala system attractive for illicit financial flows, including terrorism financing? A. Its reliance on formal banking channels and extensive paperwork. B. Its total anonymity and lack of a paper trail operating outside government control. C. Its transparent tracking of funds across international borders. D. Its high commission fees for all transactions. The answer is B. Its total anonymity and lack of a paper trail operating outside the government control. Next, how can insurance policies be used as a money laundering avenue? It's a very important question. A. By obtaining insurance for legitimate business assets. B. By paying a large premium via bank transfer for an expensive asset, then early cancelling the policy and requesting a refund remittance to another country. C. By using the policy as collateral for a bank loan that is fully prepaid. D. By investing the policy's cash value into publicly traded stocks. The answer is B. They pay the large premium by bank transfer and then cancel the policy early and then request the refund to another country where there is a lax in jurisdiction for money laundering. Next, why is gold an attractive avenue for money launderers? A. It has a fluctuating market value, making it unpredictable for laundering. B. It lacks inherent value and convertibility. C. It possesses inherent value, convertibility, and potential for anonymity in transfer. And D. It's primarily used for declared legitimate international trades. The answer is C. It has inherent value and convertibility, and its potential for anonymity in transfer is huge. Next, how are non-profit organizations and charities misused by terrorist outfits for financing? A. By openly declaring their intent to fund terrorist activities to donors. B. By being infiltrated by terrorists and their supporters, serving as an intermediary or cover for fund movement and logistical support, often without the knowledge of legitimate members. C. By strictly adhering to their stated charitable purposes and legal frameworks. And D. By exclusively engaging in transparent, high-value international financial transactions. The answer is B. What happens that you may be a member of a charity, but you don't know how the funds are used. You pay the amount because you think that maybe it will be used for something good, but in reality, it is being used for terrorist activities. Now, we have some situation-based questions, and these are very important for the exams. So, the question is like this. An illicit financier wants to deposit a large sum of illegally obtained cash, let's suppose rupees 5 crore, into the banking system without triggering regulatory reporting requirements. To achieve this, they instruct multiple associates to make numerous separate cash deposits, each below the reporting threshold. For example, 9 lakh in a country with rupees 10 lakh threshold, into different bank accounts over several days. So the question is, what specific money laundering technique is being employed in this scenario to avoid detection? The options are funnel accounting, contra transactions, deposit structuring or smurfing, trade invoice manipulation, and you know the answer is going to be C. Next question. An investigation into a criminal network reveals that they have established a company in a tax haven jurisdiction. Tax haven means countries who are lax in reporting of transactions. So this company exists purely on paper, has no employees, physical office or apparent business operations, yet it is used to receive and transfer large sums of money, obscuring the true origin and beneficial owner of the funds. So the question is, what type of entity is this? Commonly exploited in money laundering to conceal the beneficial owner's identity and facilitate illicit financial flows. The options are front company, non-profit organization, bureau de change, or shell company, and the answer is shell company. Next situation is, a person in one country wishes to send funds to a relative in another country quickly and discreetly without using traditional bank or leaving a formal paper trail. So they give cash to a local informal broker who then communicates with a counterpart in its recipient country, instructing them to release the equivalent amount to the relative. No physical money crosses borders and the transaction relies on trust and a network of brokers. So the question is, this broker system operating outside governmental control and known for its anonymity aligns with which alternative remittance described in the sources? The options are credit or debit card services, offshore banking, Hawala system, insurance policy transfers. The answer is C, Hawala system. The next question is, a company involved in cross-border trade is suspected of money laundering. Investigators discovered that the company consistently declares false values on its invoices for goods shipped internationally, either overstating or understating the actual price. This manipulation is used to move illicit funds across borders or to receive laundered money, creating a deceptive appearance of legitimate commercial activity. The question is, what specific money laundering technique involving the falsification of commercial transaction values to facilitate illicit financial transfer is being described? A. Trade invoice manipulation, B. Connected accounts, C. Funnel accounting, and D. Contra transaction. You know, this is a type of trade and invoice manipulation. The next question and the final question is, a criminal organization receives payment for ransomware attacks in various digital currencies. These funds are then rapidly moved through a series of anonymous online wallets and decentralized exchanges, making it extremely difficult for law enforcement to track the transactions or identify the ultimate recipients. Make a note of these: anonymous online wallets and decentralized exchanges. Now, the high volume and speed of this digital transfer further complicate the investigations. So the question is, this method of receiving and moving illicit funds, characterized by its digital, decentralized nature and potential for anonymity, is an example of which sensitive avenue for money laundering? The options are hawala system, gold market, prepaid cards, and cryptocurrency. As you all know, the decentralized nature of exchange is for the cryptocurrencies. So that was the last question for this MCQ. I hope you guys have liked it. Do subscribe my channel if you have found this helpful, and if you want the notes of the chapters, complete the form which I have linked below, and like, share and comment if you have any queries. Thank you. Until next time, keep studying. All the best.